Good Monday morning to you. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about retirement planning. Money Mondays here at the Business of Apparel is all about money, and we've been diverting a little bit from the apparel industry because all of this is really relevant to just anybody, and it's relevant to you too. So, as an apparel brand owner, knowing how to understand your taxes and real estate and all different kinds of money things is important. If you are a brand owner, you're probably focused on finances and margins and percentages and your P&L and cash flow. And if you're not, maybe you have someone on your staff who is more obsessed with it than you are, but you should become obsessed with it. And maybe that sounds terrible. Go listen to one of my kind of my woo episodes when it comes to money. It is okay to be a little bit obsessed with money because that energy that you have when you put a lot of positivity and optimism around what you can do with money. If you feel like you can make a positive difference in the world with money. And so you can declare, I love money because it allows me to do good things with it. It takes a lot of the stigma out of really becoming obsessed with it and knowing what your numbers are. If you're the owner of a business and you don't know what your numbers are, you don't know what's coming in, you don't know what's going out, we have a problem. Okay. So I want you to start becoming a little bit obsessed with your numbers, start becoming a little bit obsessed with money. And that includes everything in your life. So, what is my grocery bill this month? What did I spend personally this month? What do I want to spend on my next vacation? Am I saving for that properly? What is the cash flow for that? What do I need to put aside every single week, every single day, every single month? If you're not thinking about those things in your personal life too, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. And if you're depending completely on your business or your bookkeeper or your CPA or your CFO to take care of all of that for you and you don't want to be involved, there's some misalignment there. So I just want to bring that up. Okay. Okay. So today we're going to talk a little bit about retirement. And the first thing that I want to say about retirement is a quote that is super fucking cheesy, but it's true. When people say the best time to start saving for retirement was yesterday and the next best time is today. And actually, the best time to start saving for retirement was as soon as you possibly could when you were probably like 21 or 22. But if you haven't started saving for retirement, start. Because what you are doing is you are investing in your future life that you want to have by putting money into retirement and saving money for retirement. Now, retirement is different for every single person. What you want retirement to be needs to be mapped out. And you need to talk to the important people in your life who you're going to share your retirement with. If you are married and you and your spouse are going in two completely different directions with what you want retirement to be, you're going to have some trouble figuring out how to save for it. And then when you both do retire, you're both going to have a hard time figuring out what to do every day because you both had a very different idea of what retirement needs to be. I'll tell you a little story. So when my husband and I first started dating, we weren't even married yet, but I think we knew it was kind of going there. We both knew that the relationship was really solid. We had been friends for many, many years before we actually even started dating and kind of talking in that way. And we moved in together pretty quickly. We bought a place together pretty quickly. And we started saving for retirement together really quickly. Those were kind of the three things that I think people looked at us sideways for, like, what the hell are they doing? But we knew our relationship was strong. We knew it was going there. Whether we got married or not, we knew that we were going to stay together. And so we moved in together after, I think, about 6 months. Again, we knew each other for a really long time. So even though, like, you know, my poor mother probably had a heart attack at that, we knew that things were moving in that direction. And we were in two totally different cities. And so we were commuting to see each other whenever we could. And it just didn't make sense. So we decided to move in together. And then we decided that place was too small for, like, it was a 1-bedroom, like, little studio apartment. And so what we ended up needing to do was just expand so that we had like a home office and we could have a guest room and people could come visit us because we had a bunch of friends who were visiting us at the time. And so we ended up buying a condo together. And we pulled our money, put down a deposit, bought a condo together. And all of these stories are out there online. I've told all these stories before about all the different places that we've lived together. But that was something that we did before we even got married. And then the third thing that we did is we found a financial advisor and we started saving for retirement. Now, we were both 9 to 5 W-2 corporate industry workers at the time. We both graduated. I went and started working at Abercrombie and Fitch. I was making actually more money than he was making when we first started our careers. And our salaries were good, and our companies offered us matches. And I think at the time, I don't remember the exact number, so I'm going to make this up a little bit, but I think at the time it was like a 3% match, up to a certain amount probably at the time. And I know that we both decided that we were going to be maxing that out for our 401ks at our companies. So if your company, if you work somewhere where you get a match from your company in the way of a 401k or an IRA, it is really good advice for you to take the maximum match that you can, and then to put as much more as you can into that 401k until you max it out. If you can afford to do that. We couldn't always afford to do that. We couldn't always afford to max out the 401k completely, but we did always max out the match from our company because that's like free money. It's silly of you to not put 3% into your 401k if your company says we're going to match that exactly. It's free money from your company to do that. And so that is kind of one of those no-brainer. Like if you are not doing that yet, go into work tomorrow, talk to your HR team, figure out how you can start doing that immediately, because your company is offering you free money for your future. They're saying we are investing in your retirement. We are investing in the life you want to build for that time of your life. And we're going to give it to you as long as you also do it. So you definitely want to set that up. Like I said, maxing out your 401k is kind of the next step. So I think the 2026 match that we're about to see is $23,500. So you can put up to $23,500 into your 401k every single year. And that maxes it out. You're not allowed to put any more in, but that's the maximum that you can put in every single year. And that will grow over time, right? So that's why they always say you want to start as early as possible with saving, because the compounding interest, Warren Buffett said that compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Because when you start putting, a dollar in here, a dollar in there, you're maxing out. You've got $23,500 in this year. You've got $23,500 in next year. The interest and the growth that you then see on that becomes exponential. And so by the time you're retiring at 60 or 65 or whatever your plan is, you have a lot more money than you just put in, because the compounding interest has been impactful. So you want to start putting as much as you can in there, because it will grow exponentially over time. You've put in the hours, you've mastered the fundamentals, and your brand is no longer a passion project. But somewhere along the way, the hustle that got you here started to feel like a trap. You're building a business, not just making clothes, and you're starting to wonder if you'll ever crack the code to consistent, profitable growth. What if I told you that industry's top brands aren't just working harder, they're working smarter, with a clear blueprint for everything from line planning to streamlining their supply chain? This is the insider knowledge that's typically kept behind closed doors, but now it's accessible to you. Introducing The Board, an annual membership designed to give you that strategic advantage. Led by a team with over 70 years of combined experience, we provide the honest, real talk mentorship you need to move from busy to truly successful. We'll show you how to focus on the small, consistent actions that lead to massive progress, helping you build a legacy without the burnout. It's time to stop second-guessing yourself and start building with purpose. Don't pay attention to the chaos. Pay attention to what actually matters. Join the board and unlock the proven systems that will transform your brand. Go to thebusinessofapparel.com to find the option that's right for you. I can't wait to see you in there. The other thing that you can do, if you have options to get an HSA insurance plan through your company, you can also be maxing out your health savings account. That's what HSA stands for. And so if you're maxing that out as well, there are limits to how much you can put into an HSA every year, same as a 401k. If you're not using that for health expenses, it eventually will roll over into a retirement fund for you. And so you can be doing that as well. And those are really smart as well because they're tax deferred. So those funds come out of your paycheck prior to it being taxed. So let's say your paycheck is $10,000. Okay, that's a huge paycheck. Let's say your paycheck is $1,000 and you put $100 of it into your 401k and $100 of it into your HSA. Now you're actually only being taxed on $800 a month or $800 per pay, not that full $1,000. So your taxes actually come down because of it too. So all big tax advantages, all big retirement advantages to do all of that stuff if you have the capability to do so. Now, saving in an IRA can be the next great step, and you'll probably want to go find a great financial advisor, someone that you connect with, someone that you're happy to work with, someone that you trust with your money, and they can set up an IRA for you. Now, the best types of IRAs are Roth IRAs. And if you've never heard of a Roth IRA, what you basically do is you get taxed upfront. And so what you need to do is talk to your financial advisor about whether that's the right option for you now, because you will incur additional taxes on any money that you're going to put into a Roth IRA right now. The idea, though, is you've already paid taxes on it. So when you go to pull it out of that Roth IRA account many years from now, when you're 60 or 65 or however old you want to be when you retire, it is tax deferred. So you pay zero taxes on the money that comes out of your Roth IRA. And the idea being that taxes will probably continue to go up over time. So if you pay your taxes on it now, you are definitely going to be seeing an advantage to that. The hard part about a Roth IRA is if you are on a very tight budget and you don't think you can pay the additional taxes on it this year or right now, it can be a tricky discussion to have. But if you can afford it and you can do it and you can stomach the taxes and you can handle all of that, you want to be contributing to your Roth IRA while you can, because you cannot contribute to Roth IRAs once you are making a certain amount of money too. So if you make too much money, if you and your spouse are making, well into the six figures someday down the line, you're no longer going to be allowed to contribute to a Roth IRA because of the huge advantages that it has. So because of that, you kind of want to be contributing and building up your Roth IRA as much as you can while you are making a little bit less, while you are not in those bigger tax brackets. A regular IRA is the next thing that you might want to consider with your financial advisor, saving for that. You can put that into an IRA now. The money goes in. Unfortunately, when you do go to pull it out when you are retiring, it does get taxed then because it's not a Roth, it's a regular IRA. Your 401k will also get taxed when you pull that out when you are of retirement age. Another little rule of thumb here is that you really should be putting money in and rarely, if you can never, take that money out until you have reached retirement age. And I say retirement age because we're watching that fluctuate as well. I think right now it's like 62 and a half when you can start taking money out. People are talking about that changing and needing to be different. So TBD what that will look like when you retire, because that's many years from now probably. And the chances of us knowing exactly what retirement age is going to be when you're near that age is maybe not possible right now. So that's why I'm saying retirement age. The idea, though, is that you are setting aside money to fund your future life so that you don't have to work forever. Now, if you want to work forever, you love your job, you've built a career, and what you do every single day is something that you know you want to do forever until the day that you die, your retirement plan will probably look very, very different. Because if you want to work until you're into your 90s, maybe you're 105 years old and you're still going to work every single day. If that's your plan and you're serious about it, you don't think you're going to burn out, there's no way that you're ever going to want to quit. Your retirement plan looks very, very different. You might not even need a retirement plan, right? Because you're always going to be making a paycheck. You're always going to be working. But I want you to seriously consider what it's going to look like to work for that many more years. Even if you love what you do, I love what I do. I love the fashion industry. I love apparel. I love being a technical designer. I love being a manager. I love being a mentor. But I burned out of corporate. I got sick my body was telling me I had to go do something different. I had to leave. I had to change course. I had to change plans. My husband and I have changed our retirement plan probably every single year for the last however many years we've been together. My husband will say it's been 147 years. We've changed our plan all the time because we make new plans. We move somewhere new. Someone gets a new job. We bought a house there. We sold a house there. There are so many things that are going to come up in your life. And so banking on the idea that you are definitely 100% always going to work until the day that you die, so you're always going to have a paycheck, might be a little far-fetched. And so planning for retirement, setting some stuff aside can be really, really smart for those just in case scenarios, even if you think you don't ever want to retire. So just some food for thought today. Whatever you can be setting aside, even if it's just $1, even if it's just 10 cents. If you don't feel like you can save a whole bunch of money every single month to be putting toward retirement, the intention of just taking that dime and putting it into a piggy bank and saying, that's for my retirement. Don't put it into a piggy bank, put it into some sort of an account that's actually going to grow over time. But the intention of putting aside any amount of money to prepare yourself for a future life that doesn't have to include going to work every single day is one of the smartest and best things that you can do with your money. And so my husband and I are in a very aggressive retirement plan. And we've been talking about, again, well, how does that change? Because I really love what I'm doing right now. I love running the business of apparel and running Unmarked Street. I love my team. We adore our clients. Like, everything that we're doing brings me so much joy. I'm starting to be in that boat of like, I don't know that I'm ever going to want to quit doing this. And that changes our retirement plan a little bit, because for a while we were trying to figure out how to maybe retire in our 50s, which made us very, very aggressively save for many, many, many years. But now that's changing again. And so we're talking about what it looks like to maybe have me working quite a bit longer, maybe not until the day I die, or maybe not until I'm 105 years old. That's the hope, right? But instead, what does it look like for me to maybe be working into my 60s, not my 50s? And how does that support us in a different way? How does that change what we need to be saving? Does that mean we can actually take some of our savings right now and go on a vacation? Does that actually mean that we can spend a little bit more on the move for our house? And maybe we don't have to lug all of the heavy furniture ourselves. Maybe we can pay a little extra money for someone to help. Those are the kinds of things that you need to be talking about. It's all one big picture for your life, for your business. And retirement is a big part of that. So if you have any questions on this topic, please put them below. I love to field comments and questions, and happy to have these conversations. If you think this episode might help someone else, please share it with them. I would really appreciate that. And have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful Monday. And I will be here with you next week. See you then.